It's AR the Equalizer, the data scientist of boxing, spinning the block for another breakdown. Let's get into it. In this video, we are covering the film study of Errol Spence Jr. versus Terence Crawford. Before July 29th, myself, many have called this the fight of the decade. And true enough, this event was massive. The build up, the lead up, the trash talking, the anticipation. You know, this fight brewing ever since Terence Crawford moved up, announced that he was moving up to welterweight. So this fight has been brewing for a long time. Terence Crawford has been a welterweight since the year of 2018, I believe. And he's been stopping every opponent that's been getting in the ring with him since being a welterweight. And he's actually stopped 12 of his last. He's actually stopped 11 of his last 12 opponents. And it's just tremendous. It's remarkable. Terence Crawford, definitely a pound for pound great. He's looking like a great, an all-time great right now. Where does he rank all time? That's very subjective and opinionated, but he's definitely up there. He's definitely up there with the best of the best. You know, putting on a performance that was dominating. You know, only giving up one round to Errol Spence, in which was a fill-out round, in which he's, you know, very notorious for, you know, giving up, you know, the early 1 or 2 rounds and going to work right after that. And many, you know, myself included, could not foresee Terence Crawford dominating in the fashion of which he did Saturday night, July 29th of 2023. It was a show for the ages. Errol Spence, he definitely performed uncharacteristically. He's looked sharper in past fights, but that's to take nothing away from Terence Bud Crawford. Like, so don't mistake this video, this film study, for an excuse video with saying, oh, Errol Spence, he just, you know, if he would have did this, then he would have won. No, I'm making no excuses for Errol Spence. You know what I mean? No glove gate, no weight issues, no weight drain issues, none of that. You know what I mean? None of that. Is there things that Errol Spence could have done to be more successful? For sure. But we're going to jump into the action. Round 1, they're filling each other out. Errol Spence is pawing with the jab. Right now, and I'm going to pause it, I'm going to stop. Terence Crawford, he's sizing up Errol Spence. Errol Spence, he's coming out in the high guard. As you can see, Terence Crawford, he's switching from a high guard to guard. The high guard is pretty much putting your gloves in position to cover up your temples on your head, to cover up your temple muscles on your head. For the temple muscles on your head is a very sensitive part of the brain, if you will. If you get hit there, it can throw off your equilibrium. So the high guard is to cover up that portion of your head. But what we see here is Terence Crawford motioning from the high guard to a neutral stance, a neutral guard, to where his hands are relaxed and in front of his chin. And the reason why his hands are positioned that way is because he's ready to attack. But notice that his hands aren't extremely close to his jaw, because he's also trying to maintain and find his range on Errol Spence. He's trying to see where he can have Errol Spence at the end of his punch. So all of this right now from Terence Crawford, he's just downloading data. He's just trying to see where Errol Spence is comfortable, what range he's comfortable, and how he could attack from that range. Let's go. So as you can see, like I said, Terence Crawford, he's switching from the high guard back to, the neutral guard. Errol Spence, he's pawing with the southpaw jab. Another thing that I'll point out is that Terence Crawford started this fight off from the southpaw stance. He's in a southpaw stance. He's notoriously been known for switch hitting, starting all of his fights from the orthodox stance, and once he have his man figured out, he switched to the southpaw stance. You know what I mean? Or if the guy has a real good jab, he'll switch immediately to neutralize the jab, a la the Kell Brook fight. You know what I mean? And many other fights he's done that, but I just wanted to point out that Terence Crawford did stay southpaw this whole fight, which is a key note, as I believe it threw off Errol Spence's rhythm. It threw off his timing, because even if you're sparring against other southpaws, nobody knew that Terence Crawford would stay southpaw the whole entire fight. So if you ask me, it was pretty genius, and I'll pat myself on the back. I said that Terence Crawford in previous weeks before the fight, I said Terence Crawford, he'll be successful if he stays southpaw the whole entire fight. But I believe that it was genius on Bomax and Terence Crawford's team behalf that Terence Crawford was told to, I don't know if he was told or if Terence Crawford did it himself, but whatever the case, it was genius, in my opinion, because it threw off Errol Spence's rhythm. It threw off his timing, because I'm pretty sure they were working to see Terence Crawford from the orthodox stance. And Errol Spence is a southpaw. Southpaws don't like fighting other southpaws. You know what I mean? Regardless of, you would think that that's the case because right-handers are used to fighting right-handers, but right-handers, orthodox boxers are a common thing. I mean, it's more right-handed people on this earth than left-handed people. It's common to be right-handed. So a southpaw fighting a southpaw as opposed to a southpaw fighting a orthodox fighter is not really common. You will see it, but not as often as fighting a right-hander. So Errol Spence's history of fighting southpaws, he hasn't faced too many in his career. That I would say, he hasn't faced too many. Sean Porter, right-hander. Yordenis Ugas, right-hander. Danny Garcia, right-hander. Mikey Garcia, right-hander. Kell Brook, right-hander. Lamont Peterson, right-hander. You see what I'm saying? So the consistency of facing right-handed guys has been prevalent throughout. It's been prevalent throughout. Spence, he's used to fighting these right-handed guys, and it could even be stated that in all of his championship fights were against right-handed guys. So to go up against a dangerous guy who can switch hit and is just as good from the orthodox stance as he is in the southpaw stance, and Terence Crawford, it was just a stylistic nightmare. And to be honest, I don't think that, Spence and Derrick James really had a full game plan to neutralize what Terence Crawford was bringing to the table from the southpaw stance. But we'll continue. So Spence is continuing to paw at the jab. And as you can see, Terence Crawford, he's jabbing with Spence now. Picking up on the rhythm. Terence Crawford. Picking up on the rhythm. Spence, he's looking for the fight. He's trying to set something up behind his jab. He's trying to set something up. He's looking for an opening. But Terence Crawford isn't giving it to him. He's just circling him. And even that rhythm, I'll pause it right there. Even Terence Crawford constantly circling to his right. You feel what I'm saying? From the southpaw stance. Circling around to his right. I mean, that's confusing in itself. I mean, it's one thing to train for it, to work on the mitts with your coach, but it's different when you're in front of somebody, you're in a real fight. You know what I mean? He's circling an emotion that you're not really used to. So all of this right now, in my opinion, is recalibration in Errol Spence's brain. Errol Spence is having to think twice as hard as he would have to in his previous fights. Whereas Terence Crawford, he's already aware of the ploy. He's getting that information. Now, it looks like on the outside looking in that Errol Spence, he's the busier guy. He's looking for the fight. He's the aggressor. So he's winning the round so far. But what Terence Crawford is doing, he's gaining this information. He's gauging that distance at which he can attack Errol Spence. You know what I mean? And he's also picking up on the punch output patterns. All right, he'll paw one time, then he'll double up on the jab. All right, so when he double up, I know the attack in between. You know what I mean? He's picking up on these different punch output patterns. And like I said, he's just collecting data. We'll move forward. Errol Spence steady coming through, trying to corner Bud Crawford. Steady pawing with the jab. Crawford, he's pawing back. Errol Spence, he backed him up to the ropes, as you can see. And I'll pause it right there. As you can see, when Errol Spence backs up Terence Crawford to the ropes, Terence Crawford immediately ties up. He ties up in circle. He spins Errol Spence around to where now Errol Spence is backed up against the ropes, possibly. You know what I mean? But Terence Crawford, he subtly did it to where the referee didn't have to get too involved. You know what I mean? And he's back at the center of the ring. That is ring generalship 101. Brilliant. Very smart. Very smart from Terence Crawford. Still sizing each other up. Errol Spence, he's back on the jab. Errol Spence, he's trying. He just tried with the straight left hand to the body. It didn't even touch Terence Crawford because all he's doing is just backing up. Now, I feel as if Terence Crawford has Errol Spence figured out at this point. And with me saying that, and to all you haters that's saying that, I'm switching to jumping ship, no, this is in-depth film study. I'm going off of what I see, okay? But I feel as if at this point, Terence Crawford has Errol Spence totally figured out. Because he can see that the only thing that's coming behind these successive jabs, these are 7, 8, 9 jabs in a row with nothing behind it. And then 3 to 4 jabs, not all in succession, but, just one. That rhythm, Terence Crawford, he's picking up on it all. And Errol Spence is constantly doing this during the round. You know what I mean? So at this point, when Errol Spence tries it again, Terence Crawford, now he's on the attack. Now he's pushing back. But because he has Errol Spence's rhythm as to when he's going to retract, you know what I mean? He's going to retract from his attack. Errol Spence is attacking soon as Terence Crawford is attacking soon as Errol Spence is in recess from his attack. We'll keep playing. Still sizing each other up. Terence Crawford isn't showing too much. Now Terence Crawford is getting closer. Looking to land, looking to close the distance. And as you can see, the jabs that Terence Crawford is throwing, it's not with, much commitment. Whereas with Errol Spence, it's a lot of commitment. He's looking for it. He's looking to get close. And this is Errol Spence's game, the inside game. to work guys like a heavy bag, but Terence Crawford isn't allowing it. Terence Crawford is being very defensively responsible. Errol Spence is trying to figure out how he can get on the inside, but Terence Crawford isn't allowing it. And they're steady gauging each other. That's the end of round one. Now, of course, I'm going to give my input on what happened round one. That round was the only round that Errol Spence won, simply because he threw more shots, possibly landed more. Maybe did, maybe didn't, but he possibly landed more shots, though these weren't attention getters. You know what I mean? He just applied pressure. Terence Crawford, he landed some, but he wasn't looking to engage. It was simply a filling out round. It was simply a filling out round. Now, I would say what Derrick James should have told Errol Spence in this round is to switch up the attack. Give some angles. Give Terence Crawford a different look. Stop coming straight forward. You know what I mean? Step off to the side. Give some foot feints. You know what I mean? I seen no foot feints from Errol Spence. I just seen just a jab. That's it. It was just a jab. It was no smart foot feints. It was no smart head fakes. You know, no herky-jerky movement or nothing. And I get it. That's not him. But in a fight of this magnitude, you have to dig deep in the toolbox to show different things. Because I see Terence Crawford doing that, and he didn't even win that round. But from what I see, for him to even start off as a southpaw and, you know, attack whenever Errol Spence is in recess, whenever Errol Spence let his hands go just a little too low below his chin, Terence Crawford was attacking any inch of an opening. That's what the difference was. Terence Crawford was attacking any inch of an opening, whereas Errol Spence was looking for a big gaping hole in Terence Crawford's arsenal. He was looking for a gaping hole on the body or a wide open shot on the face. You know what I mean? For those who understand what I'm saying, he was looking for open shots, whereas Terence Crawford, it was precise. It was precision. That's what the difference was and what I seen even from round one. Round two, it gets even better. Here we go. Errol Spence, he's back on the jab. He's back on the jab. He's still looking. The jab, it's sharp. Oh, good straight left hand. Terence Crawford, he shoots a power right hand jab. Back to Errol Spence. Errol Spence, he's back on the attack. Crawford still motioning to his right. Errol Spence, he has Terence Crawford backed up to the ropes, but Terence Crawford ties up. Now Harvey Doc, he has to step in now. That's very smart of Terence Crawford to tie up Errol Spence, because that's what Errol Spence was looking for, to maul him and to work him like it was a heavy bag. Terence Crawford never allowed it. Now we see Terence Crawford jabbing with Errol Spence. He's picking up on the timing of that jab. Now he's catching Errol Spence's jab and jabbing his back. This is good work. This is good work. Oh, that combination right there, it showed a difference in speed. Not just did it show a difference in speed, but notice that Terence Crawford did that off of the back foot and planted. He was backed up to the ropes, but as he's backing up, he punches in between Errol Spence's attack with the faster hand speed and possibly a 4-punch, 5-punch combination, if you count it. It's a 4-punch combination, and some of those punches got through to Spence. That was an attention getter. It backed Spence up in his tracks for a minute, and it showed Errol Spence that Terence Crawford was well aware and he was in a fight and that he would not be bullied. We'll move forward. Now Terence Crawford steps back, but he circles around. He circles around. Errol Spence, he's hesitant. Now he's hesitant to move in because he just felt that combination. Now we see Errol Spence throwing a wild. That's the first wild shot that Errol Spence throws. Now Errol Spence is throwing multiple power shots back to back. You know, he threw two rear left hands back to back. So now he's looking for a fight. But I see that as desperation because he just felt the combinations from Terence Bud Crawford. And now he's trying to show Terence Bud Crawford that he has something. But it's not working. Errol Spence, he tries with the left hook, a rear left hook. Terence Crawford ducks underneath. Terence Crawford, he tries with the lead hook. Errol Spence does a great job of blocking it. They tie up. Terence Crawford, he pushes him off. Jabbing together. This is good work because now Terence Crawford is standing his ground. Terence Crawford is standing his ground now. He's not backing up as much, and he's letting Spence come to him. He's playing the Matador. This is a mind game. He's not backing up because Spence is necessarily strong, and Spence goes down. Spence goes down. As I was saying, this was all a mind game. Terence Crawford is playing the Matador. He's waving that red flag and letting the bull come to him. But knowing that he has a 40 cal on his hip to catch the bull at the right time. He got that 40 cal on his hip, waiting to catch the bull at the right time. And he's constantly, inviting Errol Spence in. He's backing up purposely. Not that Errol Spence was necessarily stronger this night. Terence Crawford decided to box on the back foot and to motion around and to be off of the back foot and to let Errol Spence be the aggressor so that he can set up a shot such as that. If Errol Spence happens to lunge a little too far, a nice short straight left hand. And it was actually a jab that dropped him, but it was the left hand that caught his attention. I believe it was a delayed reaction. I believe that knockdown was really from that left hand that caught his attention. But we'll play it. Errol Spence is up. He beats the count. Back at it. Now the fight is on. The fight is really on. Now Errol Spence is backing up, and that caps round 2. This fight is on. As I said, it's a mind game of Terence Crawford to back up and to allow for Spence to constantly come with that same rhythm, no angles. And I believe that Terence Crawford was actually expecting something different from Errol Spence the following round after round 1. But to see him do the same thing, just jab, and try to set up power shots behind it, it's very predictable. Terence Crawford, he set him up. Errol Spence, he leaned in a little too much with, trying to set up his attack behind that jab. And he got caught in between the attack because Terence Crawford already has that punch output downloaded. Now, this is all just instinct. It's all second nature. And now he's just going to work. Round 3, here we go. Errol Spence, he's definitely looking for a fight. He's fighting with urgency now. They tie up. Errol Spence is fighting with urgency now. It's the first time he's been floored in his career. He's letting go rear left hands, overhand lefts, and he's still, working behind the jab. There's no angles. There's no foot feints. He's just coming straight forward and trying to work Terence Crawford like he's a heavy bag. And, he's finding some success in this corner that he has Terence Crawford in. He's finding some success because he's going for it now. It's urgency. His hands are up higher. But what the issue is there's no foot feints, there's no angles, and there's no variations on the punches. from Errol Spence. There's no turning that southpaw jab into a hook. There's no uppercuts. It's just straight up and down from Errol Spence. And he's putting the pressure on Terence Crawford, for sure. Make no mistake about it. Errol Spence is mad and he's looking for the fight. But now Terence Crawford is firing back. They tie you up momentarily. Errol Spence, he's steady firing off. But as I stated, for round one for Terence Crawford, he's collecting data. This is, and I'll pause it there. This is a new intensity that Errol Spence is bringing forth now. So, and Errol Spence, he's winning the round at this point. Newsflash, he's winning the round at this point because Terence Crawford, he's not landing anything, and Errol Spence, he's looking for the fight. He's going for it. Like, he's coming behind this jab and bringing some intensity with his power shots. The thing is, it's not that Terence Crawford is bewildered and doesn't know what to do. He's gathering new information. He's gathering new data. This is a new intensity that wasn't shown in round one, round two. This is a new intensity. Like, now this guy is really going for it. He's trying to hurt me now. It's no more filling out. So now the fight, this is why Terence Crawford isn't landing his hands go as much. Why? Because it's a new fight that's been broken out. It's not we're figuring out each other. Now it's on. So Terence Crawford, he's collecting more data, picking up on this punch output now. Now, what Terence Crawford is looking to do is to counter with harder shots. In round two, Errol Spence went down from a straight left hand and a jab. Now Terence Crawford is looking to set him up with some hooks and uppercuts. Multiple combinations to really stop Errol Spence in his tracks. We'll see how it plays out. Lands a hard jab. Terence Crawford, he's jabbing back. Jabbing back. The thing is, these jabs are snapping Errol Spence's head because Errol Spence is coming forward with everything that he has, and Terence Crawford is catching Errol Spence at the end of his punch as Errol Spence is coming in. That hurts. That will snap your head every time. And that's exactly what's happening. And as you can see, if you pay close attention, Terence Crawford is angling subtly. He's subtly angling as he's attacking Errol Spence off the back foot. Now he's setting up his jab. Going up and down. But it's more fluidity. It's more fluidity. As he goes to the body, he's really getting his head off the center line and being defensively responsible. This is a real chess match. Round three, that was great. And it could be said that Errol Spence didn't win around past round one. But as we do this film study here, it could be said that Errol Spence won round three. Errol Spence was looking for the fight. He was landing some big shots. Terence Crawford, he got off. Terence Crawford got off. He landed the cleaner, more effective shots, but still, Errol Spence, he showed so much heart in that round. I got knocked down. I ain't about to let you get the best of me. I scored round three for Terence Crawford because his shots were so clean. But just being fair, that round could easily go to Errol Spence. He landed more punches and he pressed the issue. We'll move on to round four. Back in the center of the ring, Terence Crawford, he's doing his thing, snapping the jab. They tie you up momentarily. Errol Spence, he's looking for it. Looks like a little fatigue. And people said that, oh, Errol Spence, he gassed out fast. And yes, I'm on record saying that he could have done better in training camp as far as his conditioning goes, because he was looking tired, after round 3. But the reason is he exerted so much energy in round 3. If you pay close attention, the guy was loading up almost every shot. That takes a lot of energy and strength out of you. You throwing all power shots in one round, and when you miss shots, it takes out even more energy. You know what I mean? Because your lungs and your muscles have to contract and work that much harder to get back. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to if you land. And in a brain, it's like a reward. If you're used to smashing a heavy bag and you hitting the heavy bag clean, there's a reward system there in your brain anytime you're connecting real good. But if you're swinging and missing in a real fight, it's taking oxygen from you. You know what I mean? It's sucking it out of you. If you feel me, it's sucking it out of you. You know what I'm saying? And Errol Spence, he missed a lot of power shots. And that stuff, it takes up a lot of energy. I know y'all familiar with the video games, Fight Night Round 3, Fight Night Champion. You know what I'm saying? Whenever you're swinging and you throwing those haymakers but you missing, it take your stamina level all the way down. And it take a while for it to come back up. And when you finish the round, your stamina way low. And the guy that wasn't throwing that much, his way up. You know what I mean? It was that type thing going on in this fight. That's real. That's real, people. Let's continue. Errol Spence steady looking forward. The steam is slowed down. Now we see Terence Crawford digging to the body. The first time in the fight we see Terence Crawford outside of round 2, I believe, where he threw that slick combination. We see Terence Crawford in round 4 dig hooks / uppercuts to the body. Why? Because he see that Errol Spence is getting tired. He also know that, if I would have did that, if I would have just threw all power shots in one round, I know I'd be winded. So him being a smart boxer, that high IQ, that pound for pound greatness, that pound for pound great mind, yes, I'm giving him his flowers. That pound for pound great mind. He like, he done blew his load the last round. So anytime he try to attack, I know he ain't got too much steam or sting on his punches because he just blew his load. Let me go down low and take the oxygen out even more. Smart fighter. Let's keep going. Errol Spence, he's showing so much heart. So much heart. But now you see Terence Crawford pressing up on Errol Spence, pushing him in the center of the ring because he knows that Errol Spence has blown his load round 3, loading up on all of those shots. Errol Spence, he's steady going for it. He's trying it. But Terence Crawford, he's right there in the center with him. He's looking to dig to that body. Oh, now we see the power shots come out from Terence Crawford. Spence is wide open. I don't know if he's not thinking about being defensively sound right now, but he's open. And Terence Crawford is attacking those openings. Errol Spence has forgotten to get his hands back up tight and close to the face, and he's eating hard shots now. Now the fight is really getting away from him because he lost discipline. Errol Spence has lost discipline at this point of the fight. He got his hands up, but they not where they supposed to be. And Terence Crawford is finding those openings and chopping those power shots on Errol Spence's face. Now we see Terence Crawford doing what he wants in the ring. It's round 4 that we really see Terence Crawford do his thing. It was at this point, it was at this junction of the fight where Terence Crawford is showing those tools in his toolbox. He's not fighting off the back foot as much anymore. Now he's standing in the mid-range. He's stepping to Errol Spence. Errol Spence, he's feeling those shots, man. And now Errol Spence is thinking in his mind like, man, I don't know if I can beat this guy. I can't hit him. Now it's frustration. Now we see Errol Spence backing up and trying to think. But he's fighting off of pure instinct, man. Errol Spence is not thinking. That's what's going on. Errol Spence is not thinking. Round 4, people. Errol Spence is backing up. He's hurt, but he can't think. It's all instinct. He's trying to figure out, man, how can I hit him, man? I only know this way of jabbing and setting up. That's the end of round 4. I only know this way of jabbing, setting up to hit my man, to get my man. But I can't hit him. I can't hit him. He's on to what I'm doing. And like I said earlier, it's no foot feints. There's no jerking of the head. It's no lateral movement. We seen no lateral movement. We just seen straight forward, straight back, backing up. It wasn't no bouncing on the toes and angling, spinning out the way and ducking underneath. It was none of that from Spence. And honestly, I was expecting to see another layer from Spence to show us that. Because so many people told me that, oh, Errol Spence, he can box. He boxed Mikey Garcia. And I'm on record saying, well, Errol Spence, he don't need to try to box Terence Crawford. You know what I mean? He needs to work his pressure game effectively, moving ahead, angling, showing us different layers of that strategy. And it just wasn't executed fight night. We'll move on to round 5. Very exciting round in round 4. Now this is the Terence Crawford show. The doctor is checking Errol Spence. Errol Spence, he's saying that he's good. The crowd is very irritated. But the show must go on. Both men in the center of the ring. I don't know what Errol Spence is thinking at this point. It's just go for broke. Let's make it happen. But Terence Crawford is getting off. Terence Crawford wastes no time to set up these combinations. He's turning jabs into hooks. He's backing up, letting his hands fly this round, giving uppercuts. He's throwing every punch. And what Errol Spence is doing, it's not even effective. He's trying with the same jab. He's looking to set things up, but it's nothing there. There's nothing behind it. It's nothing behind it. He's trying it, but it's not affecting Terence Crawford. As Terence Crawford is shelled up and absorbing all of that Errol Spence is throwing. Now he's jabbing with Errol Spence, is snapping the head of Errol Spence as he jabs with him. He's doubling up on jabs and throwing a straight left hand behind it. And as Errol Spence is trying to get off, Terence Crawford is catching him in between these shots. And it's the Terence Crawford show right now. This is the Bud Crawford show right now. Errol Spence is thinking, but it's no foot feints. There's no jerking of the head. There's no lateral movement. He's just standing still, and I don't understand why, man. I really don't get it. He does good sometimes at catching Terence Crawford's shots, but Terence Crawford, every shot that he's throwing, it's with precision and accuracy. And he's looking for those opening shots. Terence Crawford, he's winning the inside game on the clinch. Terence Crawford is hitting him backing up, hitting him going forward. It's just a clinic at this point. And Errol Spence, he has no answer. And I don't know who to blame for that. Is it Derrick James or is it Spence? But Spence is the fighter. He's the one that has to execute. And it's just a counter-punching clinic from Terence Bud Crawford. This is where the fight gets dark. This is where it gets dark, and this is where myself and I believe the audience of everyone watching, like, man, they might need to consider stopping this because Spence ain't got an answer for him, and it's only a matter of time. And that's the end of round 5. And, you know, my brief analysis on round 5 is that Terence Crawford has Errol Spence totally figured out, which is very concerning because it's only going into round 6. And this round, Terence Crawford, he has the option to stop Errol Spence. He has him totally figured out. He knows what Errol Spence is going to throw, how he's going to throw it, the intensity on the punch and everything. So he can really step on the gas this round and stop him if he wanted. That's just my honest assessment, my honest opinion. It's no slight to Errol Spence. It's not me jumping on Terence Crawford's bandwagon. I'm a fan of both guys. Been a fan of both guys. Been wanting to see this fight happen. You know what I'm saying? Been on record saying that this is a 50-50 fight. And both guys got to show us something that we ain't seen before. Whoever go win this fight is the one who wants it the most, who has the better game plan. And we know who came out victorious. Round 6. Both men in the center of the ring. Terence Crawford sizing him up. Terence, he's letting his hands go, man. He's throwing 3-4 punch combinations now. Now he's walking to Errol Spence. And I believe at this point, Errol Spence knows that he doesn't have an answer. And all he can do is just try his best. We just see Errol Spence fighting with heart at this point. It's just heart and instinct. Errol Spence is trying to dig to the body, but Terence Crawford just taking subtle steps back. And now he's making it look easy. He's making it look easy as he's punching in between Errol Spence's attack. It's just a counter-punching clinic. That's it. That's all it is. That's all it is. Errol Spence is trying. He's tired. Errol Spence is tired at this point. He's been throwing so many power shots that normally land on guys and get the respect of the guys that he faced. But Terence Crawford, he's neutralizing it. He's stepping out of the way. He's catching these shots and shooting something hard back. This was a shock to Errol Spence because he's never seen nothing like it in the ring. You know, sparring is different from the actual fight. I know that Errol Spence has been in the ring. He shared the ring with Floyd Mayweather and gave Floyd, problems. But, the actual fight, 8-ounce gloves is way different than the sparring match with headgear and 16-ounce gloves. Both men still working. Terence Crawford he's taking it easy this round. I say that, man. The man is taking it easy. He could have pressed the issue and really, laid some combinations on Errol Spence and let loose, but he's just letting Errol Spence do his thing. He's giving Errol Spence a chance. You know what I mean? And a lot of casuals may not understand what I'm saying about he's giving Errol Spence a chance, but he's dragging him. You know what I mean? He's carrying Errol Spence. He's carrying Errol Spence right now. Because all he's doing, he's just looking for the counter. That's it. He's carrying him. Oh my. These shots are debilitating, man. He's just chipping away right now. Just seeing all of what Errol Spence got. You know what I mean? Seeing exactly what's in Errol Spence's toolbox, and I think at this point the whole crowd sees that, yes, it's no contest. We'll move on to round 7. Both men center of the ring. Errol Spence trying it. Terence Crawford playing it smart. steadily, like counter punching with combinations from the body to the head. And these shots are hurting. These shots are hurting. Errol Spence is hurt. He's tired. And he's made no adjustment at this point of the fight. And right now, I'm just giving commentary because what is it really to study? You know what I mean? We can look at foot position. I could be super technical and look at foot positioning and, look at how he's throwing this punch. He's not turning. No, it's just simple as Errol Spence not making any adjustments. And Errol Spence goes down. Again, second time in the fight. And this is just a testament to him being tired, getting outclassed, getting beat up, and just reality setting in. You know what I mean? That Terence Crawford is for real. He's a for real boxer, and that you have to be on your A game with him. Because if not, if you think that it's sweet, you will get embarrassed. And that's what's happening now. And Terence Crawford, he's letting Errol Spence just try to have his way, I guess. He's inviting Errol Spence to fight, and I got to give it to Spence, man. He's showing heart, and he's throwing, he's giving it what he has, man, but it's just not enough. It's no adjustments. It's no different looks. The bigger guy, you know what I mean? The bigger guy, and it's no adjustments. No lateral movement, no foot feints, no turning the jab into a hook, no jab, hook, then uppercut to the body, then an uppercut from, the left hand, back to the head. It's no variations of combinations, man, and it just... Errol Spence, he got exposed as a one-dimensional fighter this night. Round 7 still. Terence Crawford, he's working. In the end of round 7, Errol Spence goes down again from an uppercut. And it's not looking good at this point. And Derrick James should seriously consider stopping the fight at this point. Terence Crawford daps up Errol Spence, showing great sportsmanship. Round 8, both men back in the center of the ring. Terence Crawford, he's just working, man. Like he said, I gotta give it to him, man. When he made this comment, I was very upset. Like, bro, this is not another day in the office. Like, you got to bring your best. But what it's looking like in round 8 is just another day in the office. And Errol Spence, he's in the fight of his life right now. And I believe at this point, the fight should be stopped. The end of round 7, the fight should have been stopped. Like, man, you have nothing, bro. Let's go home. That's just keeping it real. I know Spence was a champion, three belt unified champion, superstar, very popular, but man, you gotta let the pride go. I feel like Derrick James should have stopped the fight at the end of round 7, but Terence Crawford, he's obviously carrying Spence in this round. You know what I mean? He's stepping to him. Spence is backing up. Spence has been coming forward the whole fight. He's stepping to him, not letting his hands go, inviting Errol Spence to punch. But Spence isn't. Spence is holding his punches back because he knows that he's getting countered, man. Anything that he throws, he knows that it's something hard coming back. Even if it's just a light tap, it still hurts because he's already, beat up and bruised up at this point. His ribs are hurting. Everything's hurting right now. He's tired. You know what I'm saying? Nose bleeding, can barely breathe. Yeah. Eyes swelling, kind of hard to see. It's a rough night. And he's reluctant to let his hands go in this round now. Because the accumulation of those precise inaccurate shots from Bud Crawford landing. And Errol Spence, he's buzzed again from a hook. He's trying to fight back, but he's done at this point. And I don't even know why Derrick James does not throw in the towel, man. Spence is obviously done at this point. He has nothing. He has nothing to offer. But he's trying, man, and I give him so much credit, but just keeping it real, this was in front of the whole world, you know what I'm saying? So I have all liberty to speak on this, and he had nothing to offer at this point. Absolutely nothing. And Terence Crawford, he's dragging him, man. He's carrying him. And I take it as Terence Crawford really being nice, because he could have stepped on the gas and ended this. That's the end of round 8. And here we go, round 9. This is it. Final ride, people. Round 9. Here we go. I'm pretty sure Derrick James probably told Errol Spence, man, go out and show these people what you made of. Some type of hype message. And Errol Spence, he's trying, man. He's still working behind the same jab. No feints. No angles, no lateral movement, no head movement, nothing, just straightforward. And I'm so shocked and disappointed at how he approached this fight, man. Like, it's unacceptable. The fighter of your caliber, you should have showed more in your toolbox, family. But Terence Crawford, it looks like he's still letting Errol Spence, get off. Trying to see all of what Errol Spence got. Like, man, we've been building this up. It's been a lot of trash talk. Come on, bro, put on a show. It's like I could feel Terence Crawford saying that in his head, thinking that to himself, like, Spence, come on, bro. Like, let's put on a show, man. Let's dance, bro. Let them hands go. But Spence is reluctant to let his hands go because he knows something hard that's going to come back to him. Even if it's not a super power shot. Anything coming back to him that lands, it hurts at this point because he's bruised up. Terence Crawford steady coming forward. Working behind the jab. And even the jabs now are hurting Errol Spence. Just stepping forward with the simple jab is hurting Errol Spence. He's snapping his head back. And now Terence Crawford is just working. Spence is trying, but he's beat up. He's done. He's been done since round 7. Shouldn't even be in the fight still right now. He's been done. He's just all beat up. This is why the highlights look so devastating and punishing, because he was already damaged, people. Spence was already damaged at this point of the fight. So even jabs was snapping his head back because he didn't have the punch resistance anymore. He was hurt. He's been hurt. These shots, he was already hurt. And Harvey Doc does a great job and stops the fight. He does what Derrick James should have did round 7. Regardless of how you feel, Errol Spence, you went out on your shield, bro, but that fight should have been stopped long before, Harvey Doc had stopped it. And Terence Crawford, he really showed love in round 8. Gave Errol Spence the opportunity to, put on a show for the people, redeem himself. But it didn't happen. You know what I mean? And as an Errol Spence fan, I must say that I was greatly disappointed in the performance, but, it is what it is, man. It's the Hurt Business. But that's the film study. Hope you guys learned something from it. I mean, we got the majority of the gems. Round 1 through round 4, we got the majority of the gems. Round 5 too, broke some things down, but just calling it for what it is, man. The game plan wasn't right in this fight, And in a rematch, I'm sure it will happen. It's contractual. I'm sure the rematch will happen, but Errol Spence definitely needs to work on, foot feints and throwing, different variations of, combinations. It's a saying that says that you can't teach an old dog new tricks. I get it, I understand it, but Errol Spence, he definitely has to show more tools. Because what was shown July 29th, Saturday night, it wasn't enough for a superior boxer, pound for pound, great, in Terence Crawford. But that's all I got for the film study. If you guys enjoy the content, please hit the like button. Share this content, share this video with your family, your friends in the boxing community. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell to get notified of every video that drops. It's nothing but heat that I'm dropping, man. Educating the people, you know what I'm saying? Breaking down, analyzing this sport, unbiased, from an unbiased standpoint. No fanboyism. It's AR the Equalizer. Family, it's been real. Until next time, we out.